One of my pet peeves when I tell somebody that Cisco NetAcad is for free, they ask, "Is it for free? Honestly, is it for free?" Like I'm lying to them, or like others are lying to them, or like people from Cisco are actually lying to them. This is something that occurs frequently, infrequently. Many get it, many understand it, many embrace it. Some it's like they have a comprehension vortex where they cannot understand that such a thing could be offered for free. So, hello, I'm Andrew Smith from the Open University Cisco Academy Support Center, and I'm going to talk about the actual transition from what was originally a paid for model to a free or freemium model within NetAcad. They're old enough or ancient enough, like someone like me. In the early days, NetAcad was technically a paid for support model. Actually, it never truly was. It was a model where regional academies and central academies could give it away for free if they choose, but they were also encouraged to charge for support if they wished or they needed to. The reality is, many regional academies cottoned on to what was a very clever scheme as the program grew, where they could recruit organizations that wanted to teach Cisco, teach them how to teach Cisco, and then charge them for the support. I ran one of them. I ran a regional academy from 1999 through to 2008. It was a very successful regional academy. I left it in an excellent state as one of my academies I recruited, the Open University, then recruited me to join their organization. As the program grew and more academies and organizations became mature in NetAcad, there were fewer people that needed training. There were fewer organizations that needed support. And also education models around the world changed. In mature nations like the United Kingdom, where I live and work, it became established. It also became slightly tired through the fact that the education model in our nation was changing, and new government came along that required a different standard of education based on a perception that vocational technical education and international vendor education, like Cisco NetAcad, wasn't necessarily the best thing. Personally, I believe that was totally wrong, and we had to pay the price, but now we're reaping the benefits in the longer term. So, roll forward to about 2012, 2014, give or take, we were seeing a decline in numbers in the UK. I was beginning to see a decline in numbers at my own organization. And Cisco approached me more than once to turn the Open University into a Cisco Academy Support Center. The terminology had changed. It used to be central and regional academies. It then became Academy Support Centres. Andrew, would you like to be an Academy Support Centre? No. Andrew, please. No. Why not? And then I explained the problems that I perceived, the fact that the model was struggling and a lot of people were paying for service that they weren't getting. And it would be better if it was a free model, and it would be better if we flipped the model. It would be better if we gave it away, turned it into what many of us techies would call an open source model. On that basis, I agreed. I agreed for the Open University to become a Cisco Academy Support Center with the support of my then head of school. Over time, we just quietly developed a model where we were starting to work with one or two ASCs that were struggling and decided to merge with our ASC. And we started giving it away for free to other Cisco Academies. There wasn't a big song, there wasn't a big dance. But then when people discovered that we were actually growing very successfully, growing quite large, and perceptibly we were taking paid for business away from them, even though they couldn't understand they weren't able to hold on to these organizations because they were going to lose them because they were unable to pay or unwilling to pay, or their organization just didn't understand why they had to pay for it anymore. So they were coming to us for free, low support, no support CAD light model and then beginning to flourish again in a completely different ecosystem. Continues to grow. And now in 2025, as I record this podcast, we started with a humble 10 Cisco academies and started building it up over time, probably picking up 10 or 20 academies a year. I now have in excess of 435 academies we directly support. Around 25 we support via other ASCs based on the regions within the United Kingdom. And then I probably support another 100 within our wider ecosystem, which means that we're probably supporting for free around 560 Cisco academies. In the nicer sense, we don't care if they have 1 or 1,000 students, we will support them equally. Some are charities, some are schools, some are colleges, some are universities, some are apprenticeship training providers, some are we're the wonderful organizations, some are private companies that understand the egalitarian model of NetAcad, because NetAcad is designed to be a membership program where anybody can use what they need to use and use it in a way that suits them for their student or their staff or their community of practice. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some elements that you might choose to pay for. You may choose to pay for the Linux 1 and 2 content. However, the Linux Unhatched and the Linux Essentials content is free. You may choose to pay for the certifications. However, they are all totally optional. You may choose to pay for the books on the CCNP enterprise courses, or you may choose not to deliver it at all. And of course, you may choose to buy the heavily discounted networking equipment for some of the courses from Cisco, or you may choose to use older equipment or Cisco Packet Tracer or Cisco Modeling Labs or an alternate solution. The choice is yours. Packet Tracer is free. Cisco Modeling Labs is free. Equipment, I know some academies that will source reconditioned secondhand equipment. And Cisco, whilst they would prefer you to buy their up-to-date, heavily discounted equipment, won't stop you from doing that. After all, it's a membership program. You choose what you choose what you use for your students and your local industry partners as well. There's no pressure. So if you choose never to pay a single penny towards Cisco and simply teach the content that is free, that is excellent. If you choose to use the technical resources or the certification resources or some of their specialist courses, of which they are less than 5% of the entire portfolio, these courses that have a cost, then that is your choice as well. So it really is all free for everybody and free for all of the organizations that I encounter. I believe in my 560 plus academies, less than 1% are actually paying for anything. And some choose to buy equipment based on local funding, local objectives, or personal professional desire to teach what they wish to teach with it. The moral of this narrative is if anybody asks, is it free? Shout at them, yes, it is. If anybody says, are they going to charge in the future? No, they won't. We've been giving it away for free for over 11 years. And actually, it's always been free on NetAcad if you choose to be part of a community or a supporting organization that offers it. It's just it took a while for some nations to discover that you didn't charge for it. If you don't believe that, that is actually a problem for you. If you're looking for a contract or an agreement, you're not going to get one from the Open University. It's a membership program. It is a community. You sign up to access the content. You don't sign any contracts with Cisco. You sign a membership agreement, no more than joining a library for free, a public library for free, or having something equivalent to a digital technologies Netflix, but for free. You need an Academy Support Center to access some of the more advanced level content, get support, community advice, guidance, wisdom, and podcasts like this from me. So I've been Andrew Smith from the Open University Cisco ASA, and please don't ask me why it's free because I think you now know the answer. It is free. Enjoy it and love it and make good use of it and hopefully abuse it in a positive way anytime soon.